Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk-a-walk. Craig
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Scott Geirman. Scott, we're talking about what every Dodger fan I feel like has been talking about for 6 months, and that is Craig Kimbrel. Yet another struggling performance from him last night. And Dave Roberts had some pretty interesting, intriguing things to say about Kimbrel afterwards. And I think this was kind of the headline for me. I think the stuff is starting to slide a little bit. He went on to say, I've got to continue to look at this. We've got to have our best guys at the back end and continue to think through it. And so I'll start with a simple question for you. Dave Roberts says, I've got to continue to look at this. Do you still need to continue to look at this with Craig Kimbrel? Have you already made up your mind? Does he need more time? Where are you at on the spectrum?
So, I walked a little bit of the fine line throughout the season and tried to keep as much hope as possible. But down the stretch, just like we spoke about, another video the other day, is we really had to see how these pressure situations would go for a lot of guys. And Kimbrel's one who had that run there, and, call it what you may, but he's kind of just like Robert said, stuff has started to slide a little bit. I'm kind of off the train. Okay. I thought there was a nice, run that would allow him to build some momentum and maybe unlock something and find a little bit of that fastball command, get ahead in counts. But, he's really taken a step back here, and he's allowed runs in 3 of his last 4 outings. And that's concerning. Not a very dominant Diamondbacks lineup, but he has faltered. He has been very mortal, just like he has been all season. And I don't think you really want that going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. He had the stretch from August 17th through September 13th, 9 appearances, 9 into third innings. He allowed just 1 hit, 3 walks, and no earned runs, and we're starting to think, let it go. Kimbrel is back. But since then, as you mentioned, 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 home runs, and 5 runs allowed, 4 of those earned. And at some point, you have to just look at the body of work that Craig Kimbrel has put out this season and be honest with yourself about it. Because I'm like you. I kept looking and saying, I just feel like there's something there. Some of the metrics underneath were promising, and there was reason for hope and optimism. And I don't know how, and I'm speaking as somebody who was optimistic, I don't know how you can hold on to that. You look at the StatCast, he's in the 4th percentile for average exit velocity against. He's in the 12th percentile for hard hit rate, 14th percentile in barrel rate, 27th percentile in walk rate. There's really almost nothing good about what Kimbrel is providing you. The command is not very good. He's not getting swing and miss at nearly a high enough rate, and he's allowing loud contact, which, if we're talking about a closer on a team that has World Series aspirations, Scott, that's not at all what you want. So I'm with you. Kimbrel can't be the most high leverage guy. He can't be the closer, which leads me to, who is then? How would you deploy the bullpen? Because you've got sort of 2 critical roles that we talk about in the postseason. You've got the fireman, who is the guy that, whatever inning it is, doesn't matter, but you got 2 guys on and 1 out, and you need to get 2 outs without allowing a run in a big spot. Who fills that role for you? And then the second key role is obviously the closer. Who's going to get the final out for you if you've got a small lead? So, Scott, heading into the postseason, there's a ton of uncertainty, and now Kimbrel's role adding to it. Where are you at on who is the fireman on this team and who is the closer on this team?
So, it's really I think it'll be a mix between the two. I myself, I'd like to see, I love Kenley Jansen at the back end. I love having, everybody loves having a defined guy in the 9th inning that, he's coming in and, he'll lock the door down. But I think for a few years, a lot of the Dodgers philosophy, or if you look at the team or what they really look for, is a closer by committee is kind of the guys who are fit for that role. There's not many, but if everyone's kind of on the same page, that be prepared for a high leverage spot, and that you can kind of be interchangeable. And this is probably the first year where that could be the case. It could be by situation, which is why this last stretch here, to get guys in spots that are, high leverage, or, maybe not the 9th inning, could be in the 6th, 7th, 8th, to see if they can put that performance on. I think that the fireman at the moment, we saw it a little bit last night with Evan Phillips, runner on second base, came in, closed the door. I love that. He missed.
Yeah, we got to preserve Julio's ERA there. That's the biggest spot of the game. Keep that league leading ERA.
I saw your tweet. Yeah, no, that was big. That was fantastic. The Diamondbacks have been real pesky Torey Lovello's got he's doing a really good job over there, and I commend him a lot. So they've done some really good work there. Blake Trinan, we don't know the availability on him. We have to see. That's still, if he's ready to go, I think the closer role can be his. But I think I'd really like to see Evan Phillips there at the back end. I really do believe that Evan Phillips can do it, but Tommy Kahnle for me has done it in the playoffs. He goes on a little bit of a stretch here. I would go Evan Phillips as the fireman, and I would perhaps gauge it between Tommy Kahnle and Blake Trinan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my question, is just where do these guys rank? I mean, Evan Phillips, look, second half, 0.82 ERA. He's got the best ERA in all of baseball among relievers, 40 or more innings pitched. He took that lead over. He's been dominant. You've got a guy like Vesia, the second half, has a 1.17 ERA. He's been lights out, struck out the side last night. And then a guy like Chris Martin, who's got a 1.71 ERA in the second half. All that guy is done since he's come over is strike dudes out and not walk anybody. He's got like 40 strikeouts since his last walk. And so I think with those three, you've got some pretty intriguing options, because obviously Vesia gives you the opportunity against lefties, although he's good against righty, not great. He's absolutely untouchable against lefties. And then you've got Chris Martin, who since coming over has been absolutely incredible, not to mention Kahnle, Gratterall, who's back, Caleb Ferguson, who's been very good, Almonte, if he's healthy, David Price, Blake Trinan. Like, you've got all of these guys, and so I do think you have options. So you're saying, just to clear, you like Evan Phillips as the closer, or you like him as the fireman?
I like him as the fireman.
Okay.
I think that because of his success for most of the year, coming in those huge spots when they've definitely needed someone to come in. I know there's been multiple guys who have had success, but I really think that Evan Phillips has you haven't heard about him anywhere. I think that he is one of the best relievers in baseball. Numbers prove it. Yeah. I think that, heart of the order coming in, 8th inning, I'm going Evan Phillips.
Yeah. He's basically top 5 in any metric you look at. As I said, he's number 1 in ERA. I'm with you. I think, we've gotten to a new age of baseball where we recognize that the 9th inning is not always the most important inning, right? Like you said, like if Machado and Tatis are due up in the 7th inning, then that's probably a bigger spot than the 9th inning is going to be. Obviously, Tatis is hurt and suspended, so just for illustration's sake. Or if you've got guys on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, like that's a bigger spot than the base is empty in the bottom of the 9th. And so I'm with you. I like Phillips in that spot. Martin is the guy that is intriguing to me because they trade him. They trade for him. It's kind of an under the radar move that nobody's really talking about. He's been fantastic. They've clearly unlocked something, and he's a guy that has been through the wars, has been in postseason spots. Like, he's basically Tommy Kahnle, except a Tommy Kahnle who has been good for the last couple of years and hasn't had just like 4 appearances this year. And so if Trinan can't go, and we don't know, I mean, the status on Trinan has been not positive in the sense that he hasn't responded the way they were hoping to. Bounced back, I think was the language they used. But on the flip side, Dave Roberts said, look, of everybody on our team, we don't really feel like he needs to have 4 or 5 outings in order to be ready for the playoffs. Like, if the arm is attached and he feels good and the sinker looks like it's supposed to look like, we don't care. We'll throw him out there. But I can't imagine it would be in a closer role or in the fireman role. So I'm with you. I like Phillips as a fireman, and I'm going to surprise myself and say I like Chris Martin at the back end. And that's actually the guy that Dave Roberts was specifically asked about. Hey, are you going to give a guy like Chris Martin chances in the 9th? And he basically said, yeah, we'll see. We would look to get some guys some run back there. So interesting stuff from Dave Roberts. Again, the quote, I think the stuff is starting to slide a little bit with Craig Kimbrel. Goes on to say, we're going to look at this. We have to have our best guys at the back end. We're continuing to think through it. And clearly, Scott, Craig Kimbrel is not the best guy that Dave Roberts is thinking about.
Yeah, but I've got one question for you. If Craig Kimbrel is not at the back end of the bullpen, where does he fit at all? Do you he doesn't miss bats like that. He gives up hard contact. You cannot bring him in the middle of an inning. That won't work out. He won't hold guys on. Where does he fit? I don't think. So
is he on your playoff roster right now? If he is not the closer, does he lose his playoff roster spot? Because we've talked about the crunch at the back end. Like, would you rather have Andrew Heaney or Craig Kimbrel? Would you rather have Gratterall or Craig Kimbrel? Would you rather have Almonte or Craig Kimbrel? Would you rather have Kahnle or Craig Kimbrel? I mean, those are guys that are competing for spots, and so I'm beginning to think there's a real chance that he's not on the postseason roster.
Totally agree. Yeah, it just I've had this conversation quite a bit. We want optimism. We want Craig Kimbrel to do well. I always have. I think
Yeah.
he hadn't gotten a fair shot, but this is the time where the underlying metrics, they didn't lie. They just told he has the ability to be good, but he
Yeah.
didn't improve in the areas that he needed to improve, and that's his downfall. He's giving up hard contact. He's not striking, he's not striking guys out. He's missing too much, getting behind, becoming predictable. Predictability is the, that's the thorn in the side. And he's just, when he needs to make a pitch, he's being predictable. And I just don't think, if he's not the closer, I don't see a spot for him in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Thursday's watch along, anybody, the first pitch he throws was a breaking ball that was absolutely perfect. It was a tight spin, and it dropped right below the zone, gets a swing and the miss. And I was like, there it is. The breaking ball, it's important. Well, guess what the second pitch does? May or may not hit the guy. The guy's credited with the hit by pitch. And it's like, well, okay, so much for the good breaking ball. He throws a perfect breaking ball and then immediately hits a lefty. And so can't have that. And I mean, look, there's lots to talk about over these last couple weeks, not games on the field, but postseason stuff. Craig Kimbrel may be the most interesting storyline to watch for the Dodgers down the stretch. Hey, that's Scott Geirman. My name is Jeff Spiegel. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Check out DodgerBlue.com for all the latest Dodger Blue 1958 on social media. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell here at the Dodger Blue channel. We post videos like this every single day, so we're excited to have you as part of the community as we head towards a stretch run, hopefully a World Series run. That's Scott. My name's Jeff. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time.